Alright gamers, gather round because today we're diving into the topic that keeps me up at night, tossing and turning wondering why these absolute masterpieces haven't been given the globe they so desperately deserve. The developers are all too happy to remaster games that have been out for 6 months over and over again, but they don't give us what we actually want. I'm actually still waiting for The Last of Us remaster before I buy it on PC. So listen here game developers and publishers, we buy your games so technically we pay your wages. This list is for you. We're talking about 10 games that desperately deserve a next-gen remake. Kicking this list off at number 10 is a game that had no right to be as good as it was, and frankly still is, Binary Domain. This often overlooked third-person shooter from the creators of Yakuza was surprisingly fun.
2 hours ago, the IRTA Council approved Rust crew deployment to enter Japan covertly.
You laid it on the line.
No ID, no documents, no evidence we were ever here.
It's set in a futuristic Tokyo overrun by robots, and the game features a unique consequence system, where your squad mates would react to your actions and dialogue choices. It also had crazy good particle effects and enemy destruction. You could shoot off limbs, arms and even heads, causing the robot to attack its own kind.
It does not seem to go in our favor!
You could do squad commands or reply to dialogue using your voice with your headset. This didn't always work great, it didn't like certain accents, but luckily you could give the same commands from your controller. The robot designs were fantastic, the gunplay was solid, and the story had some genuinely emotional moments and plot twists. I recently played this on PC and it's still available on Steam, but a next-gen remake could refine the squad AI, expand the consequence system, and give us even more glorious robot destruction. It's a hidden gem that deserves a second chance to shine. Especially Kane, the suave French robot. He's the best.
Hey! Oh, I get it. Save the girl, right?
She is much prettier than you, monsieur.
I actually did a full video on this game, so I'll link that in the description so you can check it out after this. Honestly, this game is criminally underrated. Next at number 9 is Transformers War For Cybertron.
Our tragic war has ravaged Cybertron. It is a necessary war to return us to glory. The Autobots will never sacrifice freedom.
This game did Transformers proud. You could play through it in 3-player co-op, there was an Autobot and Decepticon campaign, the story was gripping, the dialogue was well written.
Optimus!
Aim! Look out!
Optimus! Looks like I got here just in time.
I'll say!
By allowing ourselves to be captured, we've gained access to the prison. And now stand a much better chance of saving Zeta Prime.
You certainly took your sweet time, Air Raid.
I like to make a dramatic entrance.
It all perfectly captured the essence of the Transformers universe. It was actually made in Unreal Engine 3, which is why it looks a little bit like Gears of War, but imagine this bad boy with today's graphics, smoother controls, and maybe a few extra campaigns. We could finally get that true Cybertronic epic we've always dreamed of, instead of, whatever the last few movies gave us. I don't actually hate the movies by the way, but seriously, Optimus Prime deserves better than a bit explosion every 5 minutes. At number 8 is Xenogears. This is an absolute masterpiece of JRPG storytelling. It has an epic narrative, complex characters, and some truly mind-bending philosophical themes. There's just one problem though. The game wasn't truly finished in the first place. A lot of big events or world-changing things would happen in text on a still image. Apparently the team just ran out of time, so the second disc was sort of a slap-together quick job. They really should have just delayed it, but I guess back then it was a lot harder than it is now, and they took a risk on people accepting it. Which, for the most part, they did. It adds to the game's charm, but I would like to see them give it another go at finishing it in all its glory. It's a long shot, I know, but a fan can dream of giant mechs, existential dread in glorious high definition, and a game that actually lets you play through the events that we can only currently read. Now, time for a test. If you don't agree with this one, I'm not sure we can be friends. At number 7, it's the Simpsons Hit and Run. This was made by Radical, who sadly no longer exist, but they've made my list before. They made games like Hulk Ultimate Destruction and Prototype. They were amazing at what they did, but I digress. The Simpsons Hit and Run was essentially Grand Theft Auto but with all the charm and humour of Springfield. Driving around as Homer, Marge, Apu, or even Bart in a rocket was pure joy.
Woo, nice one.
I'll get you, Bart, just like I got Charlie and Nam.
Afraid not.
Afraid so.
Afraid not.
Afraid so. Oh, damn your lightning-fast wit.
The missions were hilarious, the voice acting was phenomenal using all the original cast, and the writing was just as good as the show was. I mean, was back then. It sucks now, but back then it was great.
I wish I had a dog with a saddle. You remember that cooler I gave you for your birthday? Well, Flanders wants it back.
Now what will I use for a toilet?
The open world was surprisingly dense. A next-gen remake could bring this classic back with updated physics, more vehicles, and maybe even a few new areas of Springfield to explore. There was a fan remake done, but unfortunately this was taken down as no longer available on the internet, because lawyers, which is a shame. I genuinely have no idea how a company as big as Disney hasn't done this yet. It just doesn't make sense. Plus, imagine the online multiplayer chaos. Who wouldn't want to race around in a Canyonero with their pals? Oh god, I just thought maybe this isn't a good idea. I'm having visions of a Fortnite-style battle royale made by Disney. Quick, let's move on. At number 6 is Jet Set Radio Future. The original Jet Set Radio got a modern release, but Future is still stuck back on the original Xbox. Yes, you can play it on the 360 with backwards compatibility, but it's not great. Jet Set Radio Future was a vibrant, funky and incredibly cool experience, grinding rails, spraying graffiti, and grooving to one of the best soundtracks ever made. It's fast, arcade-like and fun. I spent so much time in this game as a kid. I was just so addicted to skating around and grinding everywhere, spraying graffiti. Yes, the cel-shaded art style still holds up pretty well, but to me that's probably another reason to do it. The re-release of Jet Set Radio was just a remaster. Higher resolution, a couple of tweaks and it was good to go. So why haven't they given my beloved Future the same glow up? Come on, give me that funky beat. At number 5 we have not one, but 2 games. Infamous 1 and 2.
I guess it's time I go introduce myself.
Hello, baby.
Before there was Miles Morales swinging around New York, there was Cole McGrath zapping his way through Empire City and New Marais. The Infamous series gave us awesome superhero powers, difficult moral choices, and some truly epic set pieces. The movement ability and the world design are the things that really make these games legendary, shooting electricity at enemies, zipping across lines and causing chaos. The next-gen remake collection could really push the envelope with destructible environments, more fluid parkour, and maybe even more impactful powers. We need to bring back that delightful feeling of being a morally ambiguous conduit, deciding whether to save the city or, well, mostly just blow stuff up.
I like your style, Damon.
Bit of an odd choice here, but I hope you'll agree with me because at number 4 is Parasite Eve. Mixing survival horror with JRPG elements, Parasite Eve was a truly unique and unsettling experience on the PlayStation. It was way ahead of its time, and I think this is one of the reasons why not many people played it. It's a sequel to an absolutely insane book. You're battling mutated creatures in New York City, where people are spontaneously combusting, and lots of other weird things are happening. The atmosphere was unique, the story was bizarrely compelling, and the combat system was innovative. A next-gen remake could lean into the horror aspects even more. They could include more of the batshit crazy elements from the book, with a newer engine, creature designs, and truly terrifying environments. If you have played it, just imagine that opera house scene with modern graphics and sound. It's a cult classic that deserves a proper revival to scare and confuse a whole new generation. Now down at number 3, we have Sleeping Dogs. If you're looking for an open world game with a fantastic story, incredible hand-to-hand combat, and a vibrant setting, then Sleeping Dogs is your jam.
Wait, Jackie Ma, I'm in. Find a way to make him trust you. We want the Red Poles, the lieutenants, all of them. Do whatever it takes.
Set in Hong Kong, this game puts you in the shoes of an undercover cop navigating the triad underworld. The martial arts combat was brutal and satisfying, the driving was exhilarating, and the world felt incredibly alive. There was a points system where you earned points for the triad if you did things that they liked, but also points added or subtracted for cop things you did. A remake could take this already excellent game to the next level, with even more detailed environments, enhanced combat, animations, and perhaps even some expanded storylines. It's time to revisit the bustling streets of Hong Kong and kick some serious digital butt. I imagine they would also have Sleeping Dogs Online, which, if GTA 5 is anything to go by, it could be a license to print money, which they could spend on pork buns.
A man who never eats pork buns is never a whole man. Why don't you have a pork bun in your hand?
Now down at number 2 is Bully, Rockstar's often overlooked gem.
I'm just trying to fit in. Get off me, man!
This was an hilarious and surprisingly heartfelt take on the open world formula, set in a boarding school. You play as Jimmy Hopkins, navigating the social hierarchy, pulling pranks, and occasionally getting into a good old-fashioned fight. There were seasons, special days like Halloween and even Christmas. You could get detention, skateboard, help a drunken Santa. It's all pure gold. It's kind of like a more tame Persona, with schedules and time limits for the day, that sort of thing. A remake could update the graphics, expand the school grounds, and maybe even add in some new clubs or classes. This game got quite a bit of hate from the mainstream media at the time, as they wrongly assumed it would be basically a bully simulator, which is obviously not the case. It didn't actually do anything to the game though, other than give it more exposure, and the name had to be changed in certain countries to Canis Canem Edit, which means dog eat dog in Latin. Imagine the potential for new pranks with modern physics. It's a game that adds so much charm and humour, and it deserves to be experienced by a new generation of delinquents. Now finally, at number 1, it's another double entry for a remake collection, Syphon Filter 1 and 2. Stealth, espionage, and a protagonist who could put Ethan Hunt to shame. Syphon Filter was PlayStation's answer to Metal Gear Solid, but with its own unique flavour. Gabe Logan was master of gadgets, headshots, and making everything turn green. A remake of the first 2 games could bring this iconic series back to prominence, with updated stealth mechanics, modern gunplay, and a story that still holds up. This is another game I played to death when I was younger. The little things like being able to shoot out light bulbs actually blew my tiny mind. They've just done Metal Gear Solid 3, so now it's time to give us another fan favourite. I'd be willing to accept just one if you don't want to make both, but please, just give us what we deserve, and what Gabe deserves, in stunning 4K. It's time for him to dust off his taser and remind us what real spy action looks like. So, there you have it. My top 10 games that are begging, pleading for a next-gen remake. What do you think? Did I miss any? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll add them to a part 2. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more gaming content. Thanks for watching, stay safe core crew, keep gaming, and I'll catch you here next time.